The smell of failure is metallic and green. It is the scent of crushed ferns and blood that is not their own, mingled with the cold sweat of a narrow escape. The hunting party returns as the sun bleeds across the jagged western peaks, their shoulders slumped, their hands empty save for the splintered hafts of their spears. Kael limps at the back of the line, a fire burning in his hip that has nothing to do with the half awaiting them. The one whose stories of taking down a lone triceratops in his youth are already becoming legend. But legends do not fill bellies, and his body is a traitor, each step a fresh betrayal of the man he once was. The pack was too fast, not the big ones, not the thunder lizards whose steps are their own warning, but the new things. Scaly, feathered hunters, the size of wolves but with a cold, reptilian intelligence in their sideways gaze. Deinonychus. The name is a whisper, a curse. They do not just attack, they calculate. They flow through the undergrowth like a river of teeth and sickle claws, flanking, feinting, driving their prey into ambushes laid with chilling precision. This is a new terror in a world already saturated with it. Today they nearly took Bor, the clan's strongest arm, luring him into a gully while two others burst from the brush. It was only Kael's shouted warning, a sound torn from his lungs by instinct, that saved him. But the effort cost Kael his footing, and the fall has left him a hobbled relic. In the flickering firelight of the cave mouth, the clan skis the truth. They see it in the way Bor respectfully averts his eyes from Kael's gaze. They see it in the way the women share the remaining dried meat, their portions a little smaller tonight. The age of dinosaurs is merciless, and the clan is a single warm-blooded island in a cold, scaled sea. A weakling is not a tragedy, it is a death sentence for all. He does not speak, he simply holds out his hand. In his palm is a newly knapped flint point, sharp and perfect. It is a gift and honor. But Kael understands the exchange. He looks down at his own primary tool, the worn wooden thrower, his atlet. Its surface is smooth with the memory of 1,000 hunts, 1,000 moments of adrenaline and triumph. With a hand that trembles almost imperceptibly, he gives it to Bor. The transaction is complete. He is now just another mouth to feed, a drain on resources in a world that has no place for sentiment. He is obsolete, a living ghost haunted by the thunderous echoes of prehistoric life. If you can feel the weight of that surrendered tool in your own hands, the silent transfer of a life's purpose, then join our fire. The chronicle must be told. Days bleed into one another, each defined by the dull ache in Kael less hippened, the sharp pang of his own irrelevance. He sits near the mouth of the cave, a living statue wrapped in hides, watching the life of the clan flow around him. He sees the hunters leave, their movements now fluid and coordinated under Bor's lead. He sees the gatherers return, their baskets filled with less and less as the raptor pack's territory expands, choking the clan's resources. The Deinonychus are a constant, suffocating pressure. They are not merely predators, they are a siege. They test the clan's perimeter at dawn and dusk, their chilling, bird-like calls echoing from the tree line. Twice children have been snatched from the edge of the clearing, their games of tag ending in a terrifying burst of speed and feathers. The fear is a physical presence now, a foul taste at the back of every throat. It is in this crucible of fear that Kael finds his new hunting ground. He begins to watch the children, not with the fond, distant gaze of an elder, but with the sharp, analytical eye of a predator. He sees their play for what it is, a chaotic, useless rehearsal for a life they will not survive to lead. Their spear throws are wild, their stalking is clumsy, their games are loud and artless. They are lambs bleating in a wolf's den. One afternoon, he sees Leah, a small girl with eyes as dark as river stones, trying to spear a beetle with a pointed stick. She misses again and again, her frustration growing. Taylor's body moves before his mind consents. He limps over, the motion a grinding protest of bone on bone. He does not speak. He takes a piece of charcoal from the fire pit and draws a line in the dust. Then he draws another, showing her the arc, the way the spear must fly not at the target, but to where the target will be. He corrects her stance, turning her shoulders, adjusting her grip. It is the same motion he once used to teach new hunters, a muscle memory, but transcends his own broken body. The girl listens. She throws again. The stick lands true. A small victory, meaningless to the clan, but it sparks an idea in the wasteland of Kael's mind. His wisdom is not dead, only his legs. He becomes a fixture among the children. He gathers them, not with commands, but with stories. He transforms the cave wall into a living map, using charcoal to sketch the hunting grounds, the raptors' patrol routes, the hidden streams. He teaches them to make their own tools, a crude osteodontogratic arsenal of sharpened antlers and flint shards tied to sticks. He turns their games into drills. Hide-and-seek becomes a lesson in camouflage and silent movement. Tag becomes a drill for evading a lunging predator. He is forging them into a weapon the raptors cannot comprehend. He is weaponizing for sight, a crucial turning point in hominid history. The other adults watch, some with pity, others with scorn. The old man playing in the dirt. He sees the children moving with a new purpose, their eyes scanning the tree line, their whispers no longer about games, but about tactics. Kael is not teaching them to hunt. He is teaching them to see. He is turning the most vulnerable members of the clan into its eyes and ears. And in a world where survival is measured in seconds, the one who sees first lives longest. The plan is a shard of obsidian, elegant and deadly, with a high chance of shattering in their hands. It begins with the scent of blood. On to younger hunters drive their spears into the flank of a juvenile hadrosaur, a clumsy, deliberate kill made in the open, not far from the riverbank. They don't finish it. They let it cry out, a pathetic, beating sound that carries on the wind, a dinner bell for the sharp-eared and hungry. Agonizing procession toward the water, a pantomime of weakness. In the trees and on the rocky ledge above, the children are motionless. They are no longer children. They are triggers, the living nerve endings of Kael's strategy. Leah, the girl with the river stone eyes, lies flat on a branch, her small body barely disturbing the leaves. She holds a single dark feather. This is the signal. Kael is positioned across the small canyon, a limping general watching the battle unfold from a safe distance, a torment greater than any physical pain. He sees the ripple in the undergrowth first, a flicker of motion, then another. The Deinonychus pack emerges, not in a rush, but with the terrifying patience of creatures who know they are the apex. Their pack dynamics are a thing of fluid lethality. The alpha, a large male with a scarred snout, moves to the front, while the others fan out, cutting off any escape. They are herding the hunters, toying with them. And his men enter the shallows of the river, their feet sinking into the cold mud. They turn, spears braced, a desperate last stand. It is the image of prey, cornered and doomed. The alpha lets out a sharp, clicking call. The pack closes in, high in the tree. Leah's hand opens. The dark feather drifts down, a silent command. At once, the other children, hidden in the brush along the river's edge, heave their own burdens. Rocks, tied with vines, crash into the water upstream. The sudden barrage of noise and spray is the true trap. It startles the raptors for a critical second, their heads jerking toward the sound. In that moment of distraction, Bo bellows. The real hunters, hidden among the reeds and submerged behind logs, rise up. 10 spears strike as one. The river erupts into a chaos of feathered bodies, flashing claws, and stained water. The plan works not because of strength, but because of physics and foresight. The raptor sickle claws, so deadly on solid ground, are useless on the slick, uneven riverbed. Their speed is negated by the current. The hunters, braced and stable, use their long spears, a piece of primitive technology turned into the great equalizer. They are not dueling the dinosaurs. They are harvesting them from a position of tactical superiority. The alpha is impaled by boar spear, its intelligent eyes wide with a final, shocking moment of disbelief. The river runs red with its blood and the lesson is written for the survivors. 3 raptors escape, broken and screeching, melting back into the forest. They will not return. The siege is broken. The clan stands, breathing heavily in the crimson water, surrounded by the twitching bodies of their tormentors. They are survivors covered in mud and blood, their faces grim. They have looked into the cold, intelligent eyes of a superior predator and shown it the one thing it could never anticipate: the organized, strategic, and utterly merciless mind of early human. Embers and decos. They dragged the carcasses from the river, not for trophies, but for the stark reality of survival. The claws that once terrorized them will become tools. The teeth will become knives, the bones a new generation of spear points. This is the brutal economy of their world. Kael watches from his perch, the fire in his hip a dull throb against the blaze of triumph in his chest. He did not throw a spear, but he won the war. He gazes at the children, who are now emerging from their hiding places. Their small faces etched with a terrible ancient knowledge. They have seen death up close, and they have been a part of it. This day a new role was forged in the clan, not of the hunter or the gatherer, but of the teacher, the keeper of wisdom. What happened here on this bloody riverbank is a quiet, unrecorded tremor in the long story of human evolution. It is a single, desperate act of intelligence against the merciless reign of dinosaurs, a pattern that would have to be repeated 1,000,000 times. In 1,000,000 different valleys for our kind to crawl out from the shadows. Their victory is an answer to a question we no longer have to ask: how did we, so slow and so fragile, ever inherit this earth? We did it by turning the playing field into a training ground, a weakness into a strategy, and a grandfather into a general. This has been the chronicle of the Stone River clan. The echoes of their courage are the bedrock of our own. What happens when the greatest hunter is not on land, but in the water itself?